All right, I got a fun one for you today. We're back in the vintage streets, and oh man, I didn't replace the Soul Ring. Good beats. Fallout Soul Ring it is. So I'm playing Jewel PO today, and I'm trying a few different vintage decks. I want to see kind of what I like as I hone in on things, and I've got other decks on my list. But today, Coveted Jewel Paradoxical Outcome. So this is a Mishra's Workshop deck primarily that's trying to cast Coveted Jewel, One Ring, Phyrexian Metamorph copying Coveted Jewel, Untappers with a Time Vault for good measure. You have a ton of accelerants, Grim Monoliths, Ancient Tombs, City Traders, Workshops, Sink into Stupors as island/blue cards to pitch to Force of Will, and Paradoxical Outcome, and you just do a bunch of stuff and eventually Time Vault them to death. Got cool sideboard cards. Once the Force of Will chills out here, Argenta Masticore to kill Null Rods and stuff like that. Stony Silences because it doesn't have an activated ability. Some Worm Coils to cast. Hull Breachers against other card draw decks. So should be fun times. And we've got a league here, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand. This hand is turn 1, One Ring, turn 2, Coveted Jewel, and just hope that they don't have too many counter spells. Am I getting Thought Seized here? Probably. Oh. Turn 1 Doomsday. Okay, that's not good. Me with no Force of Will here. So what am I going to do here? I guess I'm going to probably just lose. Because I can go turn 1 Jewel, Monolith, Workshop. That gets me to, Pearl, Monolith, Workshop. That gets me to 5 mana, so I can't even cast Coveted Jewel. That would give me more of a chance. If I cast... Because if I cast One Ring and tap it, I'll have 1 colorless left. I guess if I draw a blue card and then Force of Will. But the thing is, these decks are pretty good against 1 counter, I would imagine. So this looks like a tough matchup. All right, well, I drew Sink into Stupor, so I guess I drew part of what I was missing. Just normal Doomsday stuff. Yeah. Let's go... Grim Monolith, wow. Magic Online really doing Magic Online things today. And I could just cast the ring, but I think I'd rather have 1 floating. I don't know. It feels like there could be something I could draw here that might make a difference. Draw a card. Any Force of Wills? No. Ancient Tomb. All right, well, pass the turn and I'm sure lose here. I like Doomsday too. That's on my list. I'll be trying Doomsday at some point here. This Time Walk? Oh, gosh, sure. I mean, honestly, they can just cast Thassa's Oracle. Yeah, I really don't need to see more. Okay, so against Doomsday, don't have the most amazing sideboard stuff. I do have the main deck Trinisphere, which is nice. Hull Breachers, I think, are decent. Tinker's Mana Crypt. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want... Defense Grid's more liable to help them than me. I don't want Argenta Masticores, any of those things. I think Hull Breacher is decent, plus it's another blue card. I'll take out like a PO and a One Ring. I want my deck to be pretty fast, and I think this is going to work out just fine. Just have to draw a bunch of Force of Wills. Or... This hand, I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Yeah, I mean, definitely going to keep this hand. This is turn 1 Karn plus Tinker. Okay, so Ancient Tomb, Mana Vault, Grim Monolith, and Karn. See if they have a counter. This stops Black Lotus, Mox Jet, Mox Sapphire from their deck, as well as going to my sideboard. I can find Mycosynth Lattice for next turn. Okay, they did force it. I would prefer them force Karn, because now I get to Tinker, Mana Vault away, and get Jewel, unless they have another force. They did not. All right, Coveted Jewel. Draw 3. I could get One Ring, but I think Coveted Jewel sounds pretty good. Oh, let's play Mox Jet. Play a Vexing Bauble. Pass the turn. With the 2 monoliths tapped, I didn't have that much mana post Tinker, so I think the Jewel ends up working out better. So they get to go turn 1 Ponder, and Next turn, I'm hoping to draw Metamorph Outcome. The thing is, drawing like Force of Will is still pretty good. I can just hardcast it. Hole Breacher. Hole Breacher is pretty great. I think there's a pretty good chance I get to nab them with a Hole Breacher here. We'll see what they do, but they're often going to be casting cantrips and whatnot. And I'm going to keep the Vexing Bauble here. I could sack it to draw a card, but it protects from Hole Breacher now, which is pretty nice. Okay, well, I'm definitely not playing Hole Breacher now. I'll let them do their thing and untap Monolith. Untap Monolith. All right. Any POs? Metamorphs? Oh, Force of Wills. Well, Force of Will is pretty nice because I can cast Hole Breacher and Force of Will here without even triggering the bauble. The question is, do I... well, the jig is up, I guess. Do Ancestral? Force of Will, the Ancestral. Just take 2 more damage, I guess. And they just conceded? Psh, that works for me. I didn't think the game was over, but I guess they didn't want to play anymore. Okay. On the draw. Yeah, all right. Let's get going here. All right, so I'm on the draw here. I have, once again, a turn 1 ring with nothing else into turn 2 Jewel. I think I keep this hand. I don't know. I really don't think I can mulligan to a Force of Will. Like, their deck is pretty good at beating a singular Force of Will. Like, that game, I had to have 2 things. I had to have Breacher plus Force. And I feel like mulling to Force of Will against, like, a deck that just has Thoughtseize is just not a good idea. So, let's see. Yeah, they're going to duress me now. And now I guess they take Mana Crypt. Is most likely the card they take. But that means any Mox, I get to play a turn 1 ring. They could also take the 1 ring and leave me with a turn 2 Jewel play. So they're going to take 1 ring or Mana Crypt, I imagine. Anything else is kind of crazy to take. Notice I didn't change my island either. All right, and they took the Mana Crypt. All right, let's just go Mox. Not quite. Let's just play Workshop, pass the turn. City Traders is not a very good draw. There's just no way I'm even going to... I doubt this game is even going to involve me playing all 4 of my lands, so... Pretty terrible. All right, Consider. Consider could be worse. And they did not want Demonic Consultation. Okay. Now I drew the Monolith. Well, that's fine. I'll try to play the Jewel, I think. If they have a counter, they have a counter. They got 2 cards in hand if they counter this. Unless they have a Spell Pierce here. Oh, nope, they're Undercity Sewersing. Maybe trying to see what they're drawing before deciding what to pitch to force. So they cycled Street Wraith. And then they forced. I wonder how much they found there. But that's okay. We can get the 1 ring out next turn. They're down to just 3 cards in hand. All right. Let's cast. Oops. That's not really how I wanted to play tap my mana, but that's okay. 1 ring. Draw. Oh, Force of Will. What a draw. That is going to be really nice because now they don't have a force, or they would have countered the 1 ring. And now if they go to try to kill me, which they don't seem that close to, but maybe they go just 3rd land Doomsday Gush or something. Ooh, it does not take long before this becomes unwinnable for them. 1 ring. Active 1 ring will just find a lot more action here. Once this deck gets rolling, it's pretty hard to stop. What do I want to do here? Yeah, I want a Coveted Jewel, I guess. I'll take the damage. Actually, let's play City of Traders too. And I actually should have tapped the Ancient Tomb, but whatever. And left, or should I tap City of Traders? But yeah, they are done. And what to know here? This nice PO deck. All right, time for round 2 on the play. I like that. What do we got? All right, I'm going to keep this. This is a turn 2 Coveted Jewel with Force backup. Wasteland gets me pretty good. I'm going to lead on it, the Ancient Tomb, for that reason. But other than that, I mean, I get to go Jewel on 2, force their counter, and if it doesn't resolve, Jewel on 3. If it does resolve, I mean, who knows? You could just win the game on the spot. Is definitely a possibility. Okay, they went to 6. Ancient Tomb, Mox. go. And it's good practice to play your Moxes on one in case of Chalice or Vexing Bauble. Okay, Mana Crypt, all right. And hopefully it's not Cavern of Souls. Oof. Archon, and I can't counter it. Okay. It's not over, but it is unfortunate. Let's go Monolith. Because now what I can do, if I force the Mana Crypt, I might have won the game, but there's a bunch of decks where you don't really want to force Mana Crypt, so... Okay, what do they have next here? Because what I can still play Jewel next turn. They didn't play Wasteland, which is nice. And once I get the Jewel into play, I can pass, and then end of their turn, I can sink into Stupor the Archon and go off from there. So, Anointed Peacekeeper. Oh, White Plume. That actually, I don't mind. I would rather see White Plume. Well, I guess the problem is that they just bounce, they hit the Coveted Jewel. So wait, hold on. Minamo. Interesting. 16. Coveted Jewel. Next turn I take 7. Down to 9. I'm just trying to think. No, I don't really think there's actually a way to win this. Never mind. Yeah, forcing the Mana Crypt was the play there. But now that I know I'm playing against that deck, obviously it's a little easier to do that. How do I want to do this? If I play Coveted Jewel, they get to steal it. Then I have to bounce that, and then they replay it. It doesn't really do much for me. If I play Minamo, I don't have a basic. I will have one basic. I guess I'm just going to play Minamo, and if I draw my basic island next turn, I go basic island, sink into Stupor the Archon, and go off from there. Yeah, that can be a possibility. I take 7 here. I go to 9. All right. One outer? And that's like assuming they're not playing something that disrupts me. Witch Enchanter. Okay. That actually does matter, but either way, I have to draw the basics, so... Oh! It doesn't work because of the Archon. I was going to say, all right, well, down a game here. Bring in some Dismembers. And cut. Let's see, I think Vexing Bauble in the play is fine. Trinisphere I don't really want. Don't really like Karn the Great Creator, I don't think. And I want Argentum Masticores, because they're going to have like Null Rod type cards, Clarion Conqueror, Stony Silence, that sort of thing. And I think I can just take out Time Vault Key. Or maybe, do I want all these keys? I want all the Sinking Stupors, the Tinkers. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I don't think I want any of these other things. I mean, I guess Wormcoil is nominally for this matchup. Maybe I put in Wormcoil and take out 2 POs for 2 Wormcoils. All right, we'll try doing it that way. They're undoubtedly going to have Swords to Plowshares in their deck, but this hand does not do it. I guess... Let's see. So if I keep this, I'm casting Time Walk on a 1 and then having... All right. I think I'll put back Metamorph. I have Dismember for their first creature and I have a ton of mana. I don't think a 5-card hand is better than this. I didn't even see that they put Chancellor of the Annex, so I will pay for it and then play Mana Vault. All right. This works out. Turn 2, I get to Time Walk. Okay. It's a lot of mana. They almost can cast Chancellor of the Annex. That's funny. What are they casting here? Anointed Peacekeeper, sure. It's mildly annoying, but I have the Mana Vault, so I could still cast either of these cards if I wanted to. Dismember and Archon. All right. And... oh, PO. That's interesting. Land and Time Walk. No reason to do anything else this turn. All right. Nice little Coveted Jewel or something. Oh, a Wormcoil. Yeah, I think I'll just cast Wormcoil Engine. That actually looks kind of good. I don't know. They need to have planes and plow. Oh, of course. Well, well played, I guess. Let's see. I could use not another PO. Good lord. What a bad draw. I mean, a land lets me cast Dismember. Artifact mana is actually really good because then we cast Dismember and then sets up a PO. But now they're going to go White Plume. They had Plains Swords, of course. That is tough. That is tough. All right. And I kind of need to draw the land this turn. Okay, Grim Monolith. Grim Monolith actually is not a crazy one because I go this, pass the turn. I still need to draw something next turn, but now if I draw a way to cast PO, I don't know about win, but I'm in good shape. Like if I draw Soul Ring or Mana Crypt would be like incredibly good. Academy. Lotus wouldn't be great. I could also draw Metamorph would be another option. Okay. Dismember, so that costs 3. Obviously drawing just a land would have been a lot better, but yeah, what can you do? All right, I'm at 4 going to 3 here. If they have another White Plume, I die. Oh, they have another Archon. All right. I mean, look, they had turn 1 Chancellor plus Lotus Anointed Peacekeeper. Oh, and I was going to draw the Metamorph, so I was going to get to cast Metamorph on Mana Vault, PO for 4. All right. So it goes. And I would have drawn One Ring, Sink into Stupor, Force of Will, Masticar. Let's see, if I Metamorph, I'd be at 1. Tap it. I'd have no blue mana, so I couldn't re-PO because I can't play Sync, but I could go land. I guess I'd have to go land, Mana Vault. No, I actually still think I would just lose there. Land, because I have to play Mana Vault. I could play One Ring, but then I actually die to the Mana Vault on upkeep. Good enough. All right, time for round 3. Let's see if we can do some crushing, playing against a companion, Luris, I would assume. And though every now and then some madman plays Lutri. What do I got here? That is in fact Luris. This is tricky. My inclination is to keep this hand. It doesn't have any action. I'm well aware of that. But I get to go turn 1, Monolith, Key, untap Monolith. And part of the reason I like this hand is I can force pitching Sink into Stupor, and then I can also hard cast the second force. And so I have a lot of mana and double Force of Will, and I'm just waiting to draw a PO or a Jewel or a One Ring or a Tinker, any of those things. And playing against Volcanic Ruby Luris. Time Walk, sure. They can Time Walk to your heart's content. And are they like a Mana Drain Luris deck? There's not too many of those at Lotus. All right. Just could go badly, but we'll see. I guess I'll force the Ancestral. I don't really like this, though. Drawing Ancestral Time Walk Lotus Ruby is it's a good start. And they can't Luris me quite yet. I can go ahead and stock up. So it looks like they're playing something like the last vintage deck I played on the channel, like a Luris PO Wizards, perhaps. I mean, there's a lot of decks that play all these cards. So I don't know. I'm not certain. Stock up is just a great Magic card. But we'll have to see how this goes. I mean, if I draw a Jewel and get to play it, then yeah, and it resolves, then yeah, I might be in good shape. PO is still kind of interesting. It generates some mana and draws some cards. Ooh, if they have more here, it could be trouble. I guess this is probably Underground Sea or Tundra. Yeah. So it looks like, is this going to be a Thunder Trap Trainer? Is that where we're at? No, they just passed the turn. Okay. Okay. Ancient Tomb, passed the turn. And we'll see what they do here. Sacking Lotus to cast Stock Up is not a play I enjoy making, but sometimes obviously can be right. Stock Up. I'm going to force that. they're at 3 cards. They have force. They could still have force. They might not want to do that. I'm going to take 2 damage to use my key here. Okay. Action? Not quite. I mean, I could have mulliganed, but then they would have resolved still Ancestral Time Walk, Lotus, all that stuff. So I think the hand I kept was fine, but obviously I'm not loving how this is going. They've resolved a lot of stock-ups. That card is great. I enjoy playing with that card. I take it frequently in Cube, play it in Vintage. It's probably good across a bunch of formats. I mean, Modern, etc., etc. Standard, you know, everything. So I have 3, 4, 7, 9, 12 mana. If I draw something that produces mana, then we're in it. But this doesn't look very likely. They also could be. If they have this many stock ups, they could also be playing the mana drain version of things. Let's play Lotus. Not super likely for it to matter, but maybe I'd be able to sink into Stupor. I don't think the Lotus matters whether I play it or not. I guess if they play a draw 7 or something. Opal. Okay, so they are the PO deck, I would imagine. Is this just a big 4th Earlingus? That's what it looks like. Okay, I get to sink into Stupor that at least. Do they have force? Oh, they don't appear to have force, so I have an opening here. They could also still be saving the force. I wouldn't be surprised if they were. Against my deck, I think if I had force and I was in their position, I wouldn't force there, but I guess we're not going to find out. It doesn't look like it. They still get to cast 4th Earlingus. And, oh, so they had the DT because they would have played Jet last turn, so they just wanted to force Earlingus. So they just tutored for force probably, and are casting 4th Earlingus, and now we're pretty much locked out of the game. So I guess they only casted for 4 now, so I go to 9. So technically I could live one more turn. I just can't tap Ancient Tomb anymore. Fair. Vexing Bauble. They are presumably going to force that. Oh, they did not. I was hoping they would, because I have to sack it. Okay, the One Ring. Land. One Ring. And forced. All right. Forced one way or another. So next game. I don't really want Dismember. I think I do want Defense Grids. They're gonna have Pyroblasts as well. And Karn is good against them. A lot of mana. Vexing Bauble I like. Take out 1 PO just because having your big cards be blue is a downside against them. And I think I take out Trinisphere. I'm not that worried about the Trinispheering. All right, I would like to play first. Yeah, this hand is nice. So, yeah, I think I just start with Ancestral and see where I'm at. Force their force if applicable. They picked a PO. They have second force? They did not. And I have turn 1 ring. Because I get to go Mana Vault. Key. There we go. This is what this deck's trying to do. Broken stuff. 1 ring. Draw. And phew, they're done. There we go. Turn 1 kill. So I was going to draw this. And then on my turn, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, we were going to get that one. All right, on the draw now. Let's, yeah, I don't think I'm a Hull Breacher. Yeah, let's go. All right, so here I have Sink into Stupor into Ancestral. I have a 1 ring and I have an Ancient Tomb that can cast it. I have double PO. Do I mulligan this hand? I mean, obviously it's a consideration. It's kind of hard to mull an Ancestral hand. I think I'll run this. You don't really need Force of Will that bad against... Like, I want Force of Will to stop their Forces of Will, but they're not that proactive of a deck. They probe me on a 1. I wish if I had 1 fewer PO and 1 more either Force of Will or Artifact mana, this hand would definitely be better. But Ancestral into 1 ring shortly thereafter seems pretty good. Okay. I'm going to upkeep Ancestral so it dodges Force of Negation. If they had Pyroblast, I feel they wouldn't have played Soul Ring. So I could be wrong, but I feel like they're less likely to have Pyroblast. Oh, they just didn't blast. Okay. Or Force or anything. Okay. I'm a little scared of what they could have. Like, they have something good and proactive. They have Time Walk into something. Are they just putting... No, they're not putting Luris in a hand. Yeah, they are Time Walking. Just making it look like I have something. I'll let them Time Walk. Next turn, I can play the 1 ring. Okay, they didn't spend mana on anything else. That's not so bad. Thing is, if they don't have any Force of... They could have Force of Negation. If they don't have any Force of Wills or Pyroblasts in hand, besides lands, they're going to have like Stock Up, Time Walk, proactive cards. Though if they had Stock Up, I kind of think they would have cast it there. I mean, maybe not, but Time Walk, lose 2 mana seems so bad to me. I think that's not a good play. I don't know. I don't know their whole hand. Maybe they drew the Stock Up this turn, all that, but I might even Stock Up and just hope to find a Mox so I can play Time Walk in the same turn. You're just losing so much of the advantage of Time Walk by playing it that way. But who knows? All right, they're good at drawing all those. I mean, they didn't have the Force, like I said, so they probably do now, but they hopefully don't have too much more. They've had pretty good hands here. Mox. Tomb. Let's just play Karn. I feel like they're going to force whatever I play anyways. Okay. Force pitching Stock Up, sure. And let's see what they've got now. They still have a lot of cards in their hand because they cast Time Walk, Stock Up, Ancestral last turn. They have 5 cards in hand. Tons of mana. I'm just about to be in the Stock Up loop where they just go Stock Up, Force Your Thing, Stock Up, Force Your Thing, which I guess puts them still kind of down cards. Or it's kind of even on cards only, but Needle. Oh man, that can name the 1 ring. Okay. That makes that less of an appealing play for sure. And they can put Luris into hand. Or cast PO for 3. Yeah, again, maybe mulling to a hand with Force is certainly something I could have done here. It's tough, though. I mean, it's tough to go down too on cards too much against a deck that's like got like 7 Forces and presumably some Pyroblasts. It's just not that effective. Like if I mull to a hand with Force and their opener is land, keep up, Pyroblast, it's just not going to work out that well for me. So that said, this isn't working out well either. So what I really need is just hands like game 2, where I have a turn 1 Ancestral Force 1 ring or whatever, but those are just your great hands. And I'm hoping to get some more soon. Oh, is this another PO? PO for 4 now? That's what it looks like. All right. They've already played their land, so they can't play Academy. They still have a lot of mana here, and they have now 11 cards in hand. Granted, I know 4 of them, but still. I don't know, Force Will, they can just go nuts. All right. Soul Ring, Opal, Mana Vault, Needle. Needle is a sideboard card that lets you, or main deck if you for Saga, whatever, some people can do it either way, that lets you also just pick it up with PO is pretty nice. That's a nice little bit of deck building. Well, they're back to their 7 cards. So what's my best outcome here? Drawing a Force of Will? And then what? I don't know. That's a good question. Artifact mana would be decent too. Oh, actually Workshop isn't terrible because I can go Workshop, Key, key. Pass the turn with PO up. I don't want to do this right now because they have mana up. And hopefully they just kind of waste that mana. And then next turn, at the end of their turn, I can cast a PO for 3. It's not even a very good PO because bounces 2 keys that don't do anything and a Mox. So the Mox is the only good one to be bouncing because the keys aren't generating mana. They do a lot of mana. They're going to pick up Lurrus if they have nothing else to do. This looks more like a 4th Year Lingus. Oh, buy force for 3. All right, well. PO those 3. I wonder if this is going to resolve. I suspect not. The good news about it is those keys weren't doing anything anyways, so that's all right. I mean, kind of. Now my second PO is also pretty bad, but yeah, getting thoroughly dominated here. Look, like I said, we're going through Vintage. We're learning some decks. We're seeing what sounds good. Right now, the favorite of the decks that I've played so far has actually been the deck we're playing against, but I think that there's some good stuff out there for sure. Oh, good. They're going to pass the turn. They don't have anything. I'm just going to move on to the next game. This game is just cursed. There's just no shot here. All right. 1 and 2, huh? Okay, time for round 3. This one I will mulligan, despite all those nice forces of will. And here, oh yeah, this is ideal. All right, let's keep this. And do I put a One Ring or a Mox on the bottom? I'm just gonna put a Mox on the bottom. I feel like if everything goes according to plan, I would rather have the second Mox than the second One Ring. Oh, they mulled and played turn on Chrome Mox. Okay. So this is probably the mono white deck. And yeah, there's a Witch Enchanter. So if they play another artifact here, I might force it. No, I'm not going to now because they've already played a land and they don't have Cavern of Souls, so I can just force this. Okay. But anyway, like I was saying, now I wish I'd kept the Mox, but if they had like a double force hand for these One Rings, it's a lot better to have One Ring in hand than another Mox, is kind of the way I saw it. All right. Ancestral's not bad. I mean, if they play another Archon, it's still pretty annoying. Clarion Conqueror. Yeah, that one too. And they could Wasteland the Workshop. I don't know if they actually want to do that because artifacts don't do that much. They've turned off all their artifacts as well. So, and they have 1 card in hand. All right. I don't really like playing Sink into Stupor because that's the card I want to use to bounce the Clarion Conqueror, but I guess I kind of have to. Pay 3 life and then Ancestral myself. Pass the turn. Well, they have still no mana. So they're going to hit for 3. I mean, they don't really have any plays here. If I draw Ancient Tomb or Workshop, be pretty good here. Academy would also be nice. This is so brutal because that's the card I want to use to bounce it, but I'm not going to pay the life. Right now any land casts Metamorph and I can copy the Clarion Conqueror to block their Clarion Conqueror. And that could be something. The problem is the One Ring is getting me for a point a turn, which is actually adding up a lot. If I miss here, I'm basically dead. Yeah. I mean, if I draw another Sink into Stupor, the third one, then maybe I could do something. If I draw a land, Vexing Bubble, all right. Pretty good. Clarion Conqueror does the trick. Let's get some Dismembers in here. Some Argentum Masticores. Some Worm Coils so I can get swords again. But, yeah. And transfer. All right. Let's do it. Okay. I'm on the play here. What do we got? Turn 1. Ancient Tomb, Vexing Bauble, Mox. I'm going to keep this. It's kind of bad against Wasteland. It's got Dismember and Bauble, and I also really like Vexing Bauble on the play because it makes it so they can't play any of their zeros. Okay, they played Chancellor of the Annex. I noticed it. So let's cast Mox. Pay the 1. Play Vexing Bauble and pass the turn. What I don't want to see is Wasteland go. Because if they do that, then this One Ring's not castable. But I really like Vexing Bauble on the play, and I have Dismember, which is also really nice against them. Okay, Witch plus Meadow go. All right. I'm just going to draw. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm going to pass again. I don't really want to crack Vexing Bauble here, because even if I crack Bauble, it's not like I get to play the One Ring. And what am I supposed to do here? I do have Force now, which is nice. Wasteland is still the scariest card. One land away. Workshop is nice, though, because if they Wasteland me and I draw Workshop, I can still cast the One Ring. It is a little unfortunate that Vexing Bauble in play means if I draw a 0, I have to crack the Bauble in order to play the 0. But what's this, March of Otherworldly Light on the Vexing Bauble? Okay, that's really nice for me. Huh. They must have a lot of zeros. Into Chromox? This is a lot of cards invested, and I still have a Force of Will. Let's hope they don't have a Cavern. No, they don't. Into Soul Ring, sure. Did they really need to do this? This is kind of weird. Okay. I have Dismember, so I'm just going to do that. They really did all that to play a Chromox? That doesn't make any sense to me, but okay. Dismember. I was hoping to draw another land so I could cast the One Ring and then tap the Ancient Tomb, but that's all right. Oh, okay. Mana Vault's at least decent. And now they haven't had Wasteland so far, and now I have, well, they have it now. That's fine, because they have one more creature or one more card in hand, so I could force it even if it's a creature. Ancient Tomb with the One Ring in play is also not even the most appealing. I assume I'll find lands. All right, so now just go Saga, Mana Vault, and then next turn we can kind of do all the things. We can. I'm not even going to want to play the Worm Coil. Not that it's going to be like a mystery to them that I have that. Do I want to force that? I'm giving up a PO. It's probably... No, I don't need to... Well, yeah, I will force that. It's probably just safer to do that. I could Dismember paying a bunch of life, but it feels like forcing is good. And then... Okay, go to 6. Oh, Academy? Okay. Hold on. Let's just start by tapping the ring. That's not incredibly ideal, but all right. 3, 6, or 3, 7. Cover to Jewel. And I guess I will play the Worm Coil here. Or I can cast this first, right? Yeah. Choose Coveted Jewel. I mean, if I draw PO, then I can kind of just end the game. Oh, another One Ring. Land. One Ring. I think I'm just not going to play the Worm Coil and try to just win without, or basically make them concede. I'm just going to use, I am going to use this, so I might as well do it now. All right, well, Pearl. Pass the turn. And because I have Dismember still, so, and I can even cast it without taking much damage. And I should be able to win this pretty easily. They're just going to hope I die off the One Ring, which is just not really going to happen. Take 1. Yeah, sure, I'll untap the Mana Vault just to take less damage. Saga, and let's make a token. Get a Manifold Key. Draw. Untap the One Ring. Draw. I mean, they're still playing, so that's good on them, I guess. Go to Jewel. I'm really just not going to play any of these creatures. I think it actually does help my win percentage quite a bit not to, because I just have 20 counter spells now. Metamorph, and I think I just copy the One Ring to get the One Ring out of here. Choose the new One Ring. And then just pass the turn. And discard land, land, land. I guess, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I don't want to discard any of the creatures. Manamo, Tinker, sure. Just because I don't know how often they do take out swords, if they do, because it is not like unknown that you board in creatures, but I'm going to win anyway. There's really no point in showing more. All right. I'm on the draw. I kind of don't want Vexing Bauble on the draw. It doesn't seem like that's the thing that's good. I don't think I want Hurkyl's Recall. They don't play as much artifact hate anymore now that they have, or artifact based hate now that they have Clarion Conqueror. I kind of think I just put in another PO, and it's a blue card first of all, which is nice, and also, I mean, the deck can, if you get the ball rolling, the POs are good, and sometimes you do need some kind of action. The deck has a lot of mana sources. All right. Yeah, I'm not mulling a Force of Will Dismember hand. I even have an Argentum Masticore, so First Strike Pro multicolored, unfortunately. Discard a card, and then I destroy some things. Cavern. No, just plains. Archon of Emeria. Okay. I'm going to end up dismembering it. So I'm just going to play land. What non-basic do I play is the question. I think I just play Ancient Tomb, because if that gets dismembered, that would be pretty annoying. They played Plains when they had Archon, so do they not have other non-basics? I'm just going to take 2 here. I think. Each play. No, I'll just dismember it. I am going to end up killing it, so I might as well. Okay, and then I drew Sink into Stupor, which is nice, so I can force there. Here's a Saga. Okay. Well, they must have drawn that, because you definitely would have played Saga on turn 1. Clarion Conqueror. Yeah, I'm going to force that. Draw Worm Coil. Okay, well, any mana source, and I get to play an Argentum Masticore here. Or One Ring, that's probably even better. One Ring, draw, just play my land, pass the turn. Okay, so they have Saga now, but the second Ancient Tomb wasn't great. Oh, Anointed Peacekeeper? Sure. They can name the One Ring, and then it costs 2 to activate it. They can name Wormcoil or Argentum Masticore. I hope they don't have a Wasteland as well. That would be unfortunate. They did choose the One Ring. And then, they have a Tomb so they can make a Saga token. See what I draw. Cheap artifact? Oh, baby. All right. Mana Crypt. Draw with the One Ring. Metamorph and Sink into Stupor. I think I play the Worm Coil here. And just play a tap land. I think it's worth playing the tap land. It's actually pretty close. The one thing that's nice about the Worm Coil here is they have to have swords or something else like that to deal with it. But if they have swords, I at least gain the 6. And it kind of dominates the ground here. And then next turn I can metamorph the Worm Coil and really go to town. They've got enough mana. So if they're thinking of not making a Saga token, what could they have in hand? I guess a Seasoned Engineer or something would be the answer. But they can still get an artifact that produces mana here if they want. I'm not sure. They might get a Needle or something. Needle to stop the One Ring. Ether Spellbomb for the Worm Coil. That would be funny. Mostly I assume they just get like Lotus a lot of the times. There we go. They have Solitude. Or, nope, they have the Seasoned Engineer. And Anointed Peacekeeper is a cleric, so they actually might put me to 1 here. If it explores and hits a land into Archon, okay. Or it hits a non-land, which they did. Oh, and they hit Witch Enchanter? Eee. That's gross. All right. If I lose the flip, I go to 1, so I won the flip. That's nice. Some Mox. Yeah, I mean, I can only play 1 spell, so I actually don't know if I want to Archon here. I might just go... Let's see. Yeah, they had Archon also. That's tough. That was a good turn. So now I attack with Worm Coil. I guess I just metamorph the Worm Coil. Attack for 6, go to 10. Playing the Soporific Springs did not work out. Let's see, I would have had... Let's see, for 4 metamorph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 mana. I could have bounced the Archon, and maybe I guess I could have drawn enough stuff with One Ring to really go off. Oh, they're just chumping. I wonder how that's going to work out. I guess we'll see. I'm at 10 here. They can hit me for up to 7, and I guess I just hope I don't lose the flip. Oh, no, they can hit me for... Oh, this is just lethal. What am I thinking? Well, Argentum Massacre also doesn't do anything there. Yeah, I take 9, and then the One Ring kills me. Good beats, good beats. All right. There's Drawing Saga, Metamorph. I wasn't actually going to be able to do much, even if I was able to tap the One Ring. 1 and 3? Let's go. All right, I'm going to try to get back to an even record, and by that I mean 2 and 3 and still more losses than wins. But I'm going to keep this hand. Playing in 0 mana, Vexing Bauble is good against 0 mana, I would say. If I don't have a Force, obviously that's the one thing this is missing, but I do have a pretty decently sized PO. I think I will have to crack the Lotus, unfortunately. They mulled to 6 and an Island, go. Okay. Into Ancestral. Okay. All right. I guess I will do the thing. And how much mana do I have? 3, 6, 7, 9. Oh, actually, this actually works where I have PO with Sink into Stupor backup. The only problem is that I'm just going to play this. It's even on mana because I just copy a Grim. Sink into Stupor doesn't stop a Force that well because if they have another blue card, then they can just Force again. They didn't have it, and now I win. Nice. I mean, if they had it, they would have definitely Forced there, I would imagine. Time Vault. Key. Well, let's tap it the right way. Key the Time Vault. Take an extra turn. Play Grim. You're going to make me play out my Time Vault turns? Okay. Well, if you want to, I guess. So it's a little odd, but now I have to pay the life. So let's go Key Time Vault. Take another turn. PO. I don't think I need to PO the Time Vault. I don't know. It kind of doesn't matter. They clearly don't have Force in their hand. But I'll draw a bunch of cards and take a bunch of turns. Why not? Because I still have a turn floating here. So I don't even really need to do another one. Key. Untap the One Ring. Draw. Mana Vault, Grim. And I guess I'll just pass the turn here. I don't really need to, or actually, I'll copy the key and I'll just take my extra turn. I don't even need to go completely nuts on the One Ring. Draw. Here, Trinisphere, not that it really matters, but I think just having that in play could make it so I don't get hit by anything. I, again, really can't imagine, because I can also PO the Trinisphere back. I can't imagine losing, but if they want to watch me manipulate cardboard, they certainly can. This doesn't really matter. I will still not take damage off that. Oh, there we go. Coveted Jewel. At some point I'll Urza's Saga, I guess. 6 into another Coveted Jewel. Mana Crypt. Oh, yeah, it costs 3. So hold on. Let's key the Time Vault. Tap it. 24 cards left. Draw. There goes Academy. Academy tap for 1 million. And then go PO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then tap this for mana. I have a key that I'm not even using. I didn't even bounce the jewels. It doesn't matter. Okay, and then I can play a Karn. The Great Creator. Use the ability. Let's get a Worm Coil Engine. So many cards in hand, it just goes a million miles away. Worm Coil Engine. Time Vault. Mox. Oh, wow. I have a Ruby. I can play all 5 Moxes in the same turn. I haven't done that very often. I assume that maybe I've done that at some other point in time, but I certainly don't really remember doing that. And untap Time Vault. I think I already even took an extra turn here. Replay the Trinisphere. Cast a Soul Ring. And pass the turn. So I discard. What else? Oh, I have a bunch of stuff over here. Is that enough? All right, I discarded enough. I'll take my turn and make Coveted Jewel into a creature. Attack for 6. Hope they had fun. Key the Time Vault. Time Vault. Discard a Monolith, sure. Karn. Jewel. All right. I know Island and Ancestral, which still narrows it down a reasonable amount, but obviously could be other things. I guess I will just in the dark. Island is interesting. Basic Island. Most decks do play, or a lot of the blue decks play a Basic Island. I assume like Hull Breachers and Defense Grids are the kinds of things I want. I don't know if I want Karn or not. Basics are a little less correlated with combo. And I think I just board out 2 POs. I think post-board POs are one of the softer cards in the deck just because of Pyroblast, Flusterstorm, that sort of thing. Ooh, I like this hand on the draw. Force Pitching, Sink, and then I can turn 1, I can go Defense Grid and Tinker. Okay. Mishra's Workshop would be a really sick draw here. I am going to Tinker for either Jewel or One Ring. Basically, I think the more action you have, the better it is to get Jewel because it adds a bunch of mana and draws you all the cards right away. If, let's say we trade forces here and then I'm tinkering with like very little, I kind of want to just get the One Ring because I think the game will last a few turns and the One Ring eventually draws many more cards. They mulled to 6 here. All right. Look upon your demise. Gaze upon my works in despair, or something along those lines. And I'm going to get to force, pitching, sink, play defense. I guess if the way they shortcut, now that they know my hand, here's the valuable part. Normally, if I played Lotus, they might not have countered it. And then I play Mox, they probably don't counter that. And then I play Grim Monolith, and they probably don't counter that. And then I play Defense Grid. And then if they counter that, I can then go Tinker Force. But if they counter the Lotus, then the Defense Grid's kind of stranded in my hand. So the probe does give them some really good information in that respect. Turn 1, Sophoric Springs, pay the life. Okay. Mox. Drawing the Mox was really nice, because now I can just go Defense Grid. Ancestral in response. Hold on. I think I forced that. They have to have double force, double blue card afterwards. And once the Defense Grid is down, my force also doesn't do that much. So. Mindbreak Trap? That's disgusting. Oh my god. All right. Fair play. I'm just going to get wrecked. I got Mindbreak trapped into oblivion. Whoa. It's good against this deck. It's definitely a card they want to side in. I mean, they're just going to force my Tinker now. And we're going to go to game 3. But Mindbreak Trap? Let's sack the Monolith. All right. Oh, they didn't force. Interesting. So do I get Jewel or One Ring? I think I get One Ring. Draw 1 now. I haven't played a land yet. Oh, Workshop, nice. And like the mana from Jewel aside, the One Ring is gonna, like right now it's gonna be even on cards as soon as I untap. So, and then next turn it draws many more cards. But it looks like maybe we're playing the Mirror, because they played Sophoric Springs. All I saw was Island Ancestral. Mindbreak Trap. It's a good one. They didn't have a force, luckily. Yeah, drawing the Mox. Opened the door to Mindbreak Trap pretty badly. Okay, Urza's Saga. Doesn't do anything this turn. So given that they don't have force in hand, obviously like some fast mana, PO maybe, Jewel that maybe they're not going to cast this turn. Not sure. Mindbreak. That was a sick Mindbreak Trap, I'll tell you that much. It was a 3-for-1 for 0 mana. Like their name, 0 mana. That's a good deal. Yep, and now they resolve their One Ring and probably not do much else. All right. Well, this is close. I had an incredible hand. Their Mindbreak Trap got me pretty good. Sink into Stupor. Okay. Well, let's see if they still don't have a Force of Will, huh? Coveted Jewel? Yes, no, maybe so. They did find the Force. Okay. I'm going to keep Sink into Stupor in my hand. I don't really need another land, and I feel like this could be pretty valuable. They lost the flip. They took the damage. I mean, they don't. You don't really die from Mana Crypt One Ring in this deck very often. You can, but with you draw enough cards off One Ring, there's a lot of ways to bounce or replace your One Ring or your Mana Crypt or what have you. I'm going to get to untap and draw 3 with a lot of mana and play for artifacts, so. Okay, that means I have to win next turn. Well, I have the Sink into Stupor, which technically can let me. Oh, man, they have Time Walk. Okay. Wow, that was sick. I got Mindbreak Trap bad. I was thinking I was going to get a dub there. Playing the Mirror, that doesn't really make me want Defense Grid. It definitely makes me want Hull Breacher. And see, this is where Learning Vintage comes in, because I don't really want to board in Dismembers, but if they have Hull Breachers, I kind of need to. I think on the play, maybe I just have the POs and hope to just go faster. I don't really know how common it is to have Hull Breacher. I could look, but I'm not going to. And this hand, huh? This hand looks too slow. Just turn 1, nothing. Turn 2, no force. Like, Well, I'm definitely going to keep this hand, and I think put back, I guess it's, oh, is it Workshop, really? Yeah, I guess so. They are also mulling. This hand has a lot of mana and a force, and if I don't use the PO, it's got a PO as well, so I feel like this is good. I could go Ancient Tomb, Lotus, Go, and have force up that way. So the question is, would I rather have Lotus or PO in my hand? Yeah, it's actually pretty close. I think that's probably still Lotus. The thing is, if I draw Coveted Jewel or One Ring, it's much better to have Lotus. If I draw 0 mana artifact, it's a little better to have PO, but it's not even that much better because if I crack the Lotus, it means I'm POing back a key and a 0-drop. That's not quite enough. All right, well, they mulled to 5. I think because I'm going to keep the Lotus, I go turn 1 key, Lotus, and then pass. And the reason I kept Ancient Tomb over Mishra's Workshop is there's a lot of configurations where I get to cast PO off Ancient Tomb. Casting PO off Workshop is a little more difficult. So I guess I wouldn't mind seeing like them cracking Lotus to play something big. Oh, Mana Crypt is tough. I don't think this deck has so much mana. I don't think I'm supposed to force it, but Relic of Sauron. Yeah, I guess I will force that. The problem is I'm not doing anything, so if I don't force it and then they start using it, well, they forced back, so whatever. All right, they're on 1 card in hand. No cards in hand. Let's go Coveted Jewel. Just play Ancient Tomb, pass. Well, they get to use Relic, even if they don't draw anything here. Pass the turn. So did they draw Force of Will? Oh, wow. Okay. I just peeled Time Vault to go with this key. I hope that's... No, they did draw Force of Will. Well, I don't think waiting for them to loot a bunch is a good idea. Well, if I drawn that a turn earlier, I just win. But, you know, and if they had drawn Force of Will, I also just win. But here it goes. I mean, it was kind of a tell they didn't use Relic, but again, I don't think it gets better for me to wait, so it's fine. Hole Breacher would be such a sick draw here. Can you imagine? I Hole Breacher, they draw nothing. I get 2 treasures. They discard their only card. They discarded a Force of Will. That's not a good sign. And they won the flip, so they're not even in any danger really of dying to Mana Crypt at this point. Or very little, I would say. All right, am I going to complete the 1 and 4? I kind of feel like I am. This is unfortunate how it all played out. The Mindbreak Trap really got me. I don't even know how much the Mindbreak Trap would have not gotten me. Like, they had some pretty good stuff already. They had a turn 3 kill already, so. Okay. Changed my mind about ordering here. Coveted Jewel. It's not going to resolve, but that's okay. I don't really have a choice. Yeah, they just found the other Force of Will, that's why. All right, they go to 9. Well, if they lose this flip, then it makes like Ancient Tomb a little bit less appealing. Though the math works out, they can still tap Tomb once, even if they lose this flip. And it doesn't change the outcome. The second time, it's pretty bad. All right. I mean, if I just draw another piece of action, unfortunately, I can't cast Coveted Jewel if I draw it. What's my best draw here? Hole Breacher, honestly, might be the card that is most likely to get me out of this, though maybe an Ancestral Recall or Paradox Scout comes pretty weak. Paradox Scout is just like straight up divination here. I guess it even returns key, so it's like slightly worse. One Ring is good too, because I have the key in play, so we'll see. All right. They're doing something here. I guess it's not a PO, or they'd be tapping those as well. Is my assumption. It could be a Tinker, I guess. It is indeed a Tinker. And now, do they get the One Ring or do they get Coveted Jewel here? This looks like a Coveted Jewel spot. I think this game's not going to last very many more turns. But also, I'm not really under any hurry. Ooh, excuse me. Needle? Needle my key. Okay. That's really weird. What is going on here? My time vault's already even gone. Was that intentional? It didn't seem like it was unintentional, like they just went straight for it, but that's kind of bizarre. All right. Another Mox, just pass the turn. At least now I can play Coveted Jewel if I draw it. And now they can't Relic without taking 2 damage, unless they tap Grim Monolith, which just has its own drawbacks. Well, I don't understand that play, but I think I'm probably still going to lose. I'm losing by badly enough that they could effectively throw away a Tinker, and I think I'm still going to perish here. But we'll see. If they don't have anything, and this deck, of all decks, has a lot of, like, you draw this card, you win the game, so let's see if I can draw this card. All right. I think I'll just pass and upkeep PO if I need to. I feel like they were going to Relic here, so in response to the Relic, I'm going to PO these 3. Just makes it less likely they can force it. They have to have Force of Negation and pitch their last card. No? All right. Well, I drew Force of Will. And a Grim Monolith, so double Force Grim. One thing that's kind of nice is if I don't have to use Force this turn, then I can start hard casting these things. Relic of Sorin is kind of interesting. I don't know that it's good, but it's definitely got some upsides. So I don't want to see Academy. Workshop is potentially okay. They have a lot of colorless mana. The Relic does fix their color situation pretty nicely. I still am missing a bit of action here, but I have a lot of mana, even with the key off. And what do they got here? They're taking damage, so they're casting. Oh, this looks like Coveted Jewel. Oh, Chimil the Inner Sun. Well, I'm definitely going to force that because your other spells can't be countered, and then you discover 5 end of turn. There's not too many things that could stop me from doing that there. Oh, is it into Time Walk? Oh, Transmute Artifact. Sacking Monolith. Getting the One Ring, I guess? Or wait, no, it has to get 2 or less. Because you have to pay the difference if it's more. It's like a weird Tinker that doesn't let you cheat on mana. It kind of lets you cheat on mana because it counts the artifact that you sacked. Like they could have sacked Relic of Sorin to get One Ring. Not sure what they're getting with Transmute here. If they had a key, they could get Time Vault. They'd have to have Manifold Key because of Needle, but they could get like a mana artifact, but that doesn't seem like super appealing. Can I just draw a Hull Breacher? I kind of feel like Hull Breacher would just still win the game at any point here. They got Soul Ring. Okay. Well, I feel like my opponent's doing a very bad job of using their cards, and there's a chance I can actually punish them for it. All right. Grim Monolith. Hold on, let's not play the Mox first because of Mindbreak Trap. Let's cast One Ring. All right, draw. Coveted Jewel, all right. Ruby. Sapphire. Okay, because now I get to Minamo. I really didn't want my Sapphire countered, but I didn't think they were that likely to. Tap the One Ring. I kind of feel like sinking to Stupor is better off in my hand here. Don't think I need 1 blue mana next turn that much. I actually should have just played the key now that I think about it. All right, well, they kind of have to win this turn, or next turn I just draw 17 cards. I mean, I draw 1 for turn, 2 more off One Ring. Oh, no. They're tapping for a lot of mana. I hope it's One Ring and not Jewel. This is a spot where One Ring, I think, is actually less likely to win the game than Jewel. Because they're just drawing 1 card. They're paying 4 mana to draw 1 card. as opposed to Jewel's like 3 mana to draw 3 cards, plus you have a Jewel in play now. So your Metamorphs and stuff pop off. But next turn I'm going to get to use the One Ring. All right, no Time Walk, please. Oh, is this a Jewel or is this... Oh, they're using Relic? I think I'm going to win this game. I should not have won this game. The Tinker for Needle was just an absurd play. Like, it's almost more likely to be a misclick than it was a decision. So, they discard a Mental Misstep. Sure, yeah, that one's not going to do too much. No Time Walk, please. No Time Walk. Okay, that's Brainstorm. It's not Time Walk. Time Walk would be a pretty brutal way to lose this, because I wouldn't even necessarily lose 100%, but I would probably lose because they get to untap, lots of mana, One Ring, draw steps, and all that. Now, though, at best they can have 1 force here. That seems, I guess technically they could have 2 Mind Break traps, but I'll be mindful of those. Okay, draw with the One Ring. Let's see. I want to play Coveted Jewel here, so let's go Grim Monolith. Well, hold on. Do I do that? Should I play Ancient Tomb? Yeah, I think it's kind of annoying because I would like to play Academy, but I think it's better to play Ancient Tomb. Because this way, if they have a force, I can sink into Stupor. Well, if they don't have a force, there's my Academy. All right, at this point, Mind Break's on anyway. I'm going to go ahead and cast a giant PO. Oh, and that is game. Woo! I don't know how this happened, but I will take it. And let's go Time Walk, Grim Monolith, Grim Monolith, Coveted Jewel. Let's play. The key is still needled, so I do have to remember that. And they're at 4. Let's play Hull Breacher. And sure, let's play the key. And then take my Time Walk turn. And discard. Actually, hold on. Saga, I probably don't want to discard. I don't need all these Metamorphs, or need any of these Metamorphs. I just have a bunch of forces here. And attack you down to 1. And oh no, they have the One Ring. Right, they don't attack them down to 1. Let's go Urza's Saga so I can start making things. And I think I just passed the turn with a million with Hull Breacher, Force, and Sink into Stupors. They took 1 off the One Ring, so at 3. So now you have 3 cards, up to 5 cards, I guess. And well, the thing is, the Hull Breacher, them buying a turn off One Ring is irrelevant. I think that's fine. The Hull Breacher just means they can't draw extra cards, so I don't really know how they're getting out of this. And then next turn I get to make a Saga token. I can also untap my Grims. Why not? Why not? I'll untap 1. One's probably good. Because I have a Academy here. All right, pass the turn. And they can't draw off One Ring. I only have the 1 force, I guess, but the problem is for them is that Hull Breacher already is enough, and then the double Sink into Stupor. It's not like they have a million mana, so this should be enough. All right. 2 and 3, but really kind of 1 and 4 there. So not the most impressive showing we've got. Yeah, I mean, I think the way the deck is built is totally fine. Like I like the Sink into Stupors for the forces. It might have I mean, 4 Metamorph, 4 Outcome is kind of a lot of cards that rely on you having a Jewel in play, though Outcome is good with all the little stuff. So maybe mostly it's Metamorph that I think is possible you could play less, but the fact that it pitches to Force is pretty nice. I wouldn't be surprised if Force Negation would be a good sideboard card. I do seem to lose to the mono white deck a lot, so with this plan, I'm skeptical of the Wormcoil Engine plan, let's just say. But that'll do it for today. A little foray into Vintage. Try some more stuff, figure out what sounds good. Maybe I'll try Doomsday next. Let me know if there's anything you want to see or you think is great. And that goes for other kinds of formats or videos. I'm trying out some new stuff here. So thanks for hanging out with me. I'll be back tomorrow with some more Magic. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps out the channel and you won't miss a single draft.